It is the Friday team's press conference ahead of the Australian Grand Prix, round 1 of the championship. And as you can see, we have 8 team bosses at present, judging by the graphics. So let's introduce them. We have James Willows, team boss of East Midlands Racing, Andy Graham, team boss of Mars Grand Prix, Oliver Glazebrook, team boss of Etihad Racing, Yuri Marta, team boss of Suomi Grand Prix, George Rope, team boss of George Rope Motorsport, Cameron Anderson, team boss of Martini Motorsport, Sean Grant, team boss of Bud Light Line Motorsport, and Robert Ionescu, team boss of Eldorado Racing. So to start things off, we're going to go to Oliver. So, Oliver, obviously testing has gone like it has done for the past 3 seasons, gone really well for you. Lewis Hamilton popping in the fastest times throughout both weekends.
It was. It went as predicted, I would say. I think, we went in there with a clear target, and that was to do as much work on the car and get the pace up. Our goal remains the same this season. I think next season is probably the one where we're going to be struggling. I think for us, the main thing we took away from the fact is we haven't got a clear, challenger in second. I think last season you could see it would be Bud Light Line from early on. Whereas this season, I think it could really be a mixture of Vettel, Verstappen or GRM. I think the positive for us is the fact that we have 2 drivers that are competitive and up there, whereas most of our rivals will probably just have the one. I can't really see John Byrne, Hulkenberg and Ocon being major challenges in that regard. But yeah, it went well. Fastest in both testing sessions. Everything went well. Long run pace was all right as well when Alonso was doing it. So, yeah, nothing to complain about, really.
Obviously, this season marks an end of an era because obviously Fernando will be leaving the top class to do an IndyCar career. I'm guessing he'll want to end this season on a high then.
Yeah, of course he would. The car's there. We've seen that. Everything is at his disposal to make it 4. If he doesn't make it 4, he's definitely had a fantastic career in the series. I think he'll go down as probably the best IFMC driver ever to do such things this early on in his career. Also in the lifespan of the league. It's not the end, of course. He'll be going to IndyCar, but we'll be doing special things throughout the season, like at the Spanish Grand Prix, having an updated livery for him. I don't think we're doing Austria. We was going to do something for Austria for his first championship, but we won't. At Abu Dhabi for the finale, we'll have something. We'll just, respectfully deal with it, but at the same time prepare Ricardo for next season.
Okay, now I'm going to move on to Cameron. So, Cameron, obviously a new partnership in Ferrari, so the team essentially becoming more Italian. And so far, despite teams underrating you, you have definitely shown some good pace.
We had some good in the first Right, you left Ferrari for a fucking reason. Get out.
Language.
Christian.
This is a Christian server. How dare you?
Hang on. I asked Cameron, James, when has your name been Cameron?
Demonetized.
Australia has free rides. So it was good. The first test, it was really good to see that the pace is coming along. We had a small blip in a fiery engine, as Joe would say. In the second test, all went well, topping the times at one point. But I don't think that's the main thing you want to be looking at. It's the times to see how competitive we are against other people, and we seem to be relatively competitive, or very competitive compared to last season.
So I guess with that pace, you'll be hoping to give Etihad a run for its money.
It's very early on. Very, very early on. I think we could have our Grand Prix, but I don't think it will be as such a regular thing. But we never know. We could surprise. I'm not too sure. We'll have to come and look back at it after the season and review, did we or didn't we, and what we have to improve on.
I'll move on then to James. So, James, like with Cameron, a lot of people underrated your chances because everybody, with the fact that you were switching to Mercedes, people thought it was a gamble. But so far, it seems to be paying off.
Yes, it is paying off. You're correct. It's not really a question, that is it?
So, You said that last season you were expecting to challenge the Etiads, and well, that didn't materialise. But so far, how is the relationship with Mercedes, and do you think that you can actually challenge the Etiads this time around?
The partnership is good. But we have to wait and see till the first race because we're probably going to break down, like always. And we just want to beat the Eldorados and Martini. That's our target.
Moving on then to George. So, if you are still here, aren't you, George? It's just I can't see your name on Skype here. But George, I'll move on to you because, like with Martini and EMR, your team has also had quite a good test. It seems that GOM have left off where they were last season after having a good end to the season, and Ricardo definitely looking strong.
Yeah, I mean, to be top on the very first day of testing certainly was a surprise. So I was definitely very happy with that. And Ricardo showed did some good testing for both GRM and also obviously for Etihad. Jean-Eric Verne did a pretty decent job, I have to say. And DaCosta, when he was in, I mean, he was about midway, so I mean, he wasn't at least near the back. So I'm relatively happy with how he did. But no, I mean, I certainly wasn't expecting to be top on any of the days really. So to be top on the very first day and to show some encouraging pace throughout the test was quite encouraging.
And also, this season will be Daniel's last season in the GOM before he makes the step to Etihad next season. And I guess you'll be missing him after this season, of course.
Yeah, yes, we definitely will be missing him. But I think he'll certainly do quite well at Etihad. He did do quite well for them in the testing. So yeah, it's going to be a shame, but we've got to obviously make the most of it while he's still here for this season at least.
Moving on to Sean. So Sean, obviously Paul Ricard didn't look like the team were in the midfield, but as soon as we got to RF, it seemed the team found some pace again.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think that, well, to be honest, the car that ran at Paul Ricard wasn't full season 4 spec.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. We brought some more parts to RF, and they seem to have worked well. You know, the car hasn't finished being developed yet, so it'll improve as the season goes on, hopefully, and hopefully we can improve the position similar to last season, but we're not expecting miracles like last year.
Well, coming on to that point, obviously last season, in only your second season of IFMC, you had your best season to date by finishing second in the Constructors, and obviously could have challenged for the championship had it not been for the Leclerc situation. But obviously this season, you'll be expecting that to carry over into this season, but it looks like you might have some competition on your hands. Is Sean talking?
Oh, Sean's dropped. Give him a sec. He'll probably rejoin us. So, Sean?
It looks like we've lost Sean, it appears.
He'll probably join back in a second. Give him.
All right. Well, we'll move on to Robert then, and if Sean comes back, we'll continue with him. So, moving on to Robert Ionescu. Robert, so you are back.
We had the IT man around the other day, and goes into the issues that plagued us last season. He said, yeah, fix them for 50 quid, no problem. Got that done. And then you try to put that thing on today, it just doesn't work, like.
Robert, we'll hold you off for a minute. Back to Sean. As I said, last season was your best season to date in second, and it's very clear that your aim is to try and continue that, but it looks like you might have some competition in the form of Martini, EMR and GRM. Yeah,
we're not getting second, let's be real here. Like, literally, I'd say if we were on last season's car, it would get the same lap times. It's not very good. I'm going to put evolution in air quotes. It's not very good, honestly. Like, I'm expecting 5th, realistically, here.
Now moving on then to Robert Ionescu. So, Robert, obviously, last season was your best season to date, finally managing to get your first Grand Prix victories, well, 2 in fact, with Valtteri. But so far in testing, the team seemed to be off the pace.
Well, testing was bad, okay, and We generally struggle all throughout, especially at Paul Ricard. Thankfully at Jerez we were able to improve somewhat and managed to
Coming
get
to you live from your
today.
local telephone box.
But it's been a very, very difficult start for us so far. I don't think we'll be able to hit P3 once again, but yeah, we're on the back foot right now. There's no other way to say it.
Well, you say that, but obviously last season your team started off on the back foot, and then progression started to kick in, and then you were able to challenge with the front runners. I'm guessing you're hoping something similar to that will happen this season.
It's good luck.
Yeah, but last season there were less teams that fought at the top regularly, at least in the first half. It looks like this one will start a lot more contested, so we are not really optimistic.
I'll move on then to Yuri. So, Yuri, it's been quite a mixture for your team. At one point, it looked like Raikkonen was in the top 10, and then the next thing you know, the team seemed to be nowhere.
It's inconsistent as always. It will happen in the season also. One race we will be top 5 and there we will be last.
Obviously, as I mentioned, Kimi has been putting in the performance, but it seems that Kevin seems to be struggling to get to grip with things, and that's despite the fact that he had quite a good season last season when he joined you.
No explanation on that.
No problem. Moving on then to Andy. So, Andy, I think from everybody in IFMC, welcome to the top class.
No.
And obviously, replacing Mine Giant Racing, and obviously you bring back the Porsche. You bring back the Porsche engine for the first time since season 2, not season 1. So, basically, how does it feel to be in the top class?
It feels good. We've made a good progression up from GP3 to GP2, and now we're hopefully going to continue that progression. It's not going to be an easy first year. Porsche coming back into the series, they've got more work probably to do to catch up with our competition, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
And considering as well, you said that it might not be an easy season. Obviously, every first season is not going to be easy. Considering that the team were near the back in testing, of course, does that look like it's going to be the case, or do you think you can try and get out of there before the end of the season?
We're definitely looking to get out of that position. There were promising days from Joseph in the car. Really, we're expecting a lot from our drivers. If Scott or Ed don't perform, then Joseph will be looking at that seat because his testing days were good.
Okay, so they have been the main pointers. Have there been any questions? Not proper ones, as per usual, in the chat.
Let me guess. Has James asked what everyone's favourite flavour of food is?
Nope.
Fat
Not,
shit.
not
Did he also say any
Not even
answer
close.
that isn't ice cream or
But
isn't KFC?
I have questions for...
Ask the
for
questions,
some-
Joe. Ask the questions that I thought.
No.
For anyone who's new to the stream, James does this every single week. He tries to be funny, but he's as funny as a dead cat.
Yeah. Right, so I've got some questions, and I'm going to start the first one with Robert. So, obviously, earlier this morning, you confirmed that Scott Dixon will not be driving for your team for at least one race. It was initially meant to be for this season, but give us the reasons why you decided on that decision, and also, just as a follow-up, do you believe that it would have affected one of your drivers' relationship with you if that you went through with this decision?
Well, first of all, the reason we decided to take that decision in the first place was because of Scott's good performances in when we brought him in season 3 during testing and stuff, and yeah, he did pretty well, but now the performances just haven't been up there, and he struggled in the IndyCar, and that's why we've decided to cancel the deal. And as for the second part of the question, yeah, we're confident one of our drivers would have been affected by it, but we thought Scott had the pace. We'll see on Mars to see what he can do, but right now it's not looking good for him.
Okay, my next questions, in fact, will go to two team bosses, one of them being Oliver Glazebrook and one of them being George Roke. It is involving Daniel Ricciardo. Now, obviously, we saw a situation last season with Charles Leclerc in that he was competitive in the Bud Light Line, and then obviously Etihad took him away from round 5 onwards. considering the GOM seems to be doing well in terms of pace, is there a possibility that might happen with Daniel Ricciardo here, or is that not going to be the case at all?
Personally, at the moment, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I'd prefer him to stay for the whole season. So, and that's pretty much what I have to say on that.
I mean, that's what I wanted as well.
Oliver, do you have anything to add to that?
It would make me a hypocrite to say it won't happen. If it needs to happen, then it will happen. But there's no plans at the moment. I don't think he'll be that much of an issue.
Okay. Next question then I have is with... my next question is going to be actually with Andy. So, Andy, obviously this being your first season, of course, and obviously you're going to be in this for the long run. What are you expecting out of this in around 4 or 5 seasons' time?
Progression to the front of the field is definitely the target. We're going to be with force for the long term to get them to the front of the field. That's the aim. This isn't a short term, try and get it to the front and then go to a new engine supplier, for example. It's a long-term partnership. We hope to be challenging for titles. 4 or 5 seasons would be great. Currently, we need to work on that. We're nowhere near being in that sort of position at the moment, but financially and performance-wise, but it's definitely not improbable in the future.
Okay, next question then is to all of you. So there are a few new venues coming into the calendar for this season. One of them being Yeohgnam, one of them being Fuji, one of them being recently Donington Park because of Monaco having issues, and a race in South Africa, and of course China as well. But what are your opinions on the new tracks that have been added? We'll start off with... We'll start with James on this one.
Donington Park's the best track in the world.
How did I know you were going to say that?
You're hilarious, James. Where do you get this comedic genius?
Yeah. Yuri, do you want anything to add?
About the tracks.
Yeah, they've been added.
If they work, I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Cameron?
Most of them seem to just be a bit shit, to be honest. I think they'll
You need to read fuck up.
Wait, don't talk shit about Fuji. Fuji's a great
I
track.
think there were better options than some of them that were picked.
What?
Fuck Donington Park.
That was a vote, by the way,
Way.
Cameron. That was a vote, by the way, Cameron.
Yeah. And
Donington
Well,
Park was
well,
even the best
well,
track on that list.
I mean, in
Exactly.
fairness, I didn't vote for Donington Park either.
Red Bull Ring should have been.
Who did vote Donington
Yeah,
Park?
Austria.
James used 7 accounts.
I only
I
have
just want-
two.
Who voted Donington Park?
I
I
can't
voted
remember what I voted.
I
to be
don't
honest.
know here.
I voted Austria.
So
Yeah, me
I
too.
voted Austria.
So the majority voted Austria. Right.
So who
Did
would it be?
James use like a Ferrari-style veto to get Donington Park, did he?
Bribed. He's bribed them.
Who did I speak to previously? It was Cameron, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Andy?
You're talking to.
Yeah, Donington's boring as hell. I'm looking forward to this Bakisa Freeway. Never been there. Be nice. And then Fuji career. Yeah, happy with them.
The what now? The what freeway?
That's what it's called. That's what the track's called in South Africa.
South African Grand Prix.
We're not going to like.
Sean, he's out boffing you.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know the South African track was actually a thing. I'm gonna have to call a corporate and be like, lads, you've another race to go to here.
And just so everybody knows, this man is apparently an expert on motorsports, considering he watches nearly every one of them.
So
I've never heard of this
Yes.
track in my
Sean, you're
entire
an
life.
expert.
Just saying, Sean. Just saying.
Well, if he'd like, oh, we're doing the Charlotte Roval, I'd have understood. But like,
Why
I
would
don't
we
even
go?
know.
First of all, why would we go there in the first place?
For anyone
Yeah,
who
why
isn't
not?
anyone who isn't a motorsports boffin, are you bored senseless as well?
I mean, hey, who doesn't want to go to somewhere called a Roval? That just sounds shit.
Joe, can I answer the question,
It's
please?
Well, the naming convention of it is shit, so let's just pull it that way.
Joe, may I answer the question, please?
Go on.
I think we should ask a new question before I can answer.
Oh, fuck off. Donington Park is full of fat, overweight, middle-aged men who sit there and eat hot dogs and burgers and think that petrol is better than oxygen. Kind of understand why James likes it.
Right.
Can I say
None of my classy Arabian friends will be there. Pete from the
George?
pound shop might be.
I mean, personally on the tracks, I mean, Fuji, I mean, I'm personally not a major fan of that. Career, I'm kind of 50-50 with that one. The Fakisia freeway, however the hell you say it, is Fakisa. Okay, it's gonna be something different. I mean, I've heard of the track. That's basically it. Donington Park. I mean, I don't think it's the worst track we could have picked. I mean, we could have picked, for example, the Valencia Street Circuit because so.
I knew you was going to say that, George. I knew.
Yeah, I know.
You were gonna say that.
Yes, you know my feelings about that track. Anyway, I'm disappointed that the Qatar on there. Personally, I thought that track was quite good. I was really surprised that the Red Bull Ring wasn't on there either. Were there any other tracks apart from the ones I named?
I think you practically named him, to be honest.
Can I just butt in for a minute? So if I've after, hey, well, which layout is it actually?
Which one are you on about?
The Bakisa Freeway.
We're not.
Well, it'd be the Grand Prix one, obviously.
So the one without the oval bit in it.
Yes.
All right, let me have a look. I'll give you my opinion now.
Do you know what that
okay.
reminds, lads? You know what that reminds me of with Sean right now? It reminds me of what Cameron did when he first came here. Or was it Matt?
Oh yeah.
No, it was
Matt?
But Cameron did it for like Catalonia. He'd look up. What's this place? See, all right, I'm just having a look here. Yes, Unchi one looks like an interesting
Cameron, do you feel
corner.
my
It's
pain?
like it's a left-hander thingy. Yeah.
Left-hander thing.
Just like
It
shit.
looks fast. I'll be honest, this track looks shit, man.
Just quote George. A couple of corners and a couple of straights.
Oh god.
Like-
A classic George Rote line.
Oh no,
Like,
please.
this-
I mean, I've only
right,
said that once. Please.
George thought you'd
That's
forgot about that, didn't he?
Of course
Oh,
I
please,
hadn't.
just don't
I'm a
remind me
twat.
that was a bad day.
This track reminds me of something that would be like the grid that qualifies. It'll change by like 3 positions on turn 1. Half the field will go off at Unchi 1, and then that'll be the race.
Yeah.
An EMO.
That's the kind of race I feel like we're gonna get at. What is it? Pakasa Freeway.
Yeah.
Really in tune with what my team are doing
Yeah.
with my money.
Who hasn't given it? Robert,
Uh,
have
me.
you given your opinion yet?
I haven't.
Is there a Romanian Grand Prix?
I don't think there's many tracks in Romania, to be honest.
No, we don't have any.
It's prostitution.
And its main
Both
sponsor
okay, the
is
others are shit.
corruption.
Can you let Robert speak?
Wait, you guys have
Dota
the
is really
Bucharest
good,
ring in
but the others
Romania.
are terrible.
So shut up. Speak.
That's all. I said it.
Well, you said what? We can't hear you. You sound like you're in a telephone
It
box.
does. It,
Dota!
Robert.
Great.
It does.
The others
It
are
does.
shit.
Robert, it does sound like you've been attacked by the mafia, and they're
They
kind of
don't have many
you
tracks
from
in
around-
there. Don't have many
They put a
miles.
bag over your head to let you do the press conference.
Okay.
I'm guessing you don't want to say it again then, Robert.
Dota was great, the others are shit.
Right.
Yuri will say that they need a
Okay,
track.
now we have some questions in the chat. The first question comes in from, I love this account, he's come back for season 4, the full population of China.
Who is that? Who is it? Is it
really-
Felix?
I really don't know, to be honest.
If it's Felix, if Felix is watching, #fuck99, Get it
I
trending.
don't think
Fuck
it's.
you, 99.
To be honest, Oliver, I don't think it is Felix, considering he's asked George a question.
Oh God, no, yeah.
Wait, has he? Oh my God! I thought my life is over. I'm leaving.
Watches this instead from
I'm
us.
leaving now.
All right,
I
but the
think
question
we should
is to you, George. The question is that he's asked: are there any drivers so far that you have been considering to replace Ricciardo for next season?
I mean, there are a few, but I'm not going to name any right now. So.
Oh, cheesy.
Okay.
Carmen
Next-
Jordan.
Can you ask any of my questions, Joe?
We are not going to mention. Sorry to say this, but I am not mentioning her name in this stream.
Carmen Jordan.
Yep, I'm not.
I love a bit of Carmen Jordan, you know
But
that?
Joe, she's really fit.
Yeah, I know, and she's
I think,
sexist.
I think
Exactly why Joe won't say her name.
Joe, I'll be frankly honest with you, Joe.
She
She could think that communist Russia was a positive thing, and I would still have no problem with talking about her.
What?
North Korea.
Donald Trump's a
Anyway.
good president.
Anyway, next question is coming from. Never heard of this account. OTGX Gaming TW.
I
Never
heard
of
he
it.
has a very large penis.
I've heard
That's
evidence.
not you then, anyway.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him. But anyway, he asked predictions for the season. Who wants to start off?
Or our drivers.
I want to start.
Robert, then.
We will not be free. Etihad will dominate. That's about it.
Well, you sound how seriously confident he was then. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Screw it.
You always do. You can't take the awkward silence, can you?
I had to interject. You know, I had to. I think. I mean, probably following on from Rock's, but I think Etihad. I would be very surprised if Etihad don't win. Personally, for our team, I think. I mean, I want to try. I want to hope, kind of pray in a way that we finish higher than 6th, but that seems to be our favourite position. Our aim would probably to hopefully beat Suomi, and hopefully beat the Martinis because they seem actually quite competitive this season. So yeah.
Who wants to go next?
What Light Line Motorsport will finish 4th in the constructors?
There's his. It's down to Andy, Cameron, Oliver, and Yuri. Who wants to go
The
next out of
mighty
those?
Mars Grand Prix.
I answered.
Yeah, I said your name.
You're
Dick.
James. When he said Ollie, Cameron, Andy, James,
Andy.
you're James.
This
No,
is
he's-
critical of motorsport
So I guess
people
that
can be people somewhat intelligent.
I
Shall
guess
we
that,
go to James?
I think we will. James, what do you want to say?
I want to beat the Martinis and the Eldorados.
Oh yeah, you stated
Obsessed.
that, didn't you?
He's
really
really
obsessed
obsessed
that.
with you, Robert.
Well,
Robert, he's really obsessed with
they've
you.
got a long history, haven't they? Those two.
Not really. Eldorado are mighty and massive. EMR is shit and from the East Midlands.
I mean, nothing beats more endurance racing, guys. Come
No,
on.
I know. Can we have a moment's silence at the start? I mean, Andy, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really happy you're here. I'd much rather the mighty Orange. They'll be missed. You know,
They will be missed.
They will be missed.
We
No.
really won't carry on their legacy. We'll probably destroy it.
There's no legacy. I mean, no one will ever touch the legacy. The fact that they just overshadowed everyone, especially Eldorado, will never be forgotten.
It's okay, at least I'm still top Audi team.
Mm.
It could be
I
worse.
think-
You could be Will Neller.
Oh, by the way,
Sure.
good job, IFMC. By the way, doing a good job.
It's like
Oliver,
I have
Oliver,
rumors have like an
Oliver, do you
inside
want
view on the
to
league or something.
go next?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. My prediction. Cameron and Robert fall out over something. That will inevitably happen. You open a can of Pepsi live on stream and apologise. At some point,
Sponsored by
you'll
Pepsi.
you'll
Pepsi's the good
misspell
shit,
"We Are
right?
Live" or "I Am Live." There'll be plenty of stewards' inquiries. EMR will break down. That's kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
What else? Will and Cameron will bicker on Twitter. That will happen, of course.
Yeah, it's already started. That has.
James will forget about his Twitter and post once a week. George
It
will
can't
set up. George will probably set up a Twitter and then forget about it.
Yeah, that's
Can't
true.
be worse than my Twitter
That will
habit.
probably happen.
And Robert Ionescu will interview himself in the Twitch chat. So, I mean, that's... and I'd like to think we'll win the championship.
Ollie, you can't slag James for not using the Twitter account when the Bud Light Lime Twitter account hasn't tweeted for
Yeah.
10 months.
Yeah. When I try to tag you, Sean,
I'll make a prediction for Sean. Sean will make a new Bud Light Line Motorsport
That is a
account and
good one.
forget
That
his
is a good
password.
shout.
Forget his password. There you go.
Oh, so, yeah, I forgot. It's the IT
oh.
man, right? He keeps changing the admin on the computers, and then it's like he's going against us instead of for us.
I forgot.
Maybe
I forgot
I
that
have a
as well.
conspiracy here. I have a
Forgot-
conspiracy here, right? Maybe Ollie last season sent over the new IT man just to like destroy our season, to destroy
Yeah,
our
that's
legacy.
exactly what I did.
You know, I have a. Can I
set
set this
over
as an
Pavlos,
investigation?
the Polish technician, to come and fuck with you.
Joe, I'd like
one
a
more
I'd like a
prediction,
thorough
Joe, I have one more.
investigation.
Cameron will probably get a podium, and we won't hear the end of it for a week.
Oh yeah.
That is a very good shout.
Yeah. Yuri, I think you're the last one, aren't you, to make a prediction?
What about Cameron?
Don't care about that.
Has he made I'm sure he made one, didn't he? No?
No,
No?
no, I'm
Is
not.
he even here?
He is here. He's just muting himself while he's probably in a party chat with people.
Yeah.
Am I right,
Okay, I'm
Cameron?
going to be off.
Yeah,
I'm not.
alright then,
Because I've
George,
said
see you
once.
later.
Bye, George.
Bye, George.
Yuri,
I'll
what
come
are
along
your,
with you.
what are your predictions?
I mean, everyone did their predictions already, but I think we will finish like something like fifth, and I have no idea about the rest. I'm not a predictor.
He's back. He's back.
One day he'll just turn around and say "fuck off," won't he?
Can you ask one of my questions, Joe?
No.
Why?
Oh, I
not
just
funny.
realised Yuri did a pun. Yuri did a pun. He's gonna finish fifth. Oh, what banter.
Hey.
Well done, Yuri.
Cameron.
I didn't even try.
We want to establish ourselves as the top Ferrari team.
That is gonna start a riot. That is. Oh, Bell will be amazing after this. Oh God. Oh.
Also, we can never forget about beating AMP.
I think when this video gets uploaded on YouTube, this is going to get a lot of likes.
That is
I
very.
do report dislikes.
Maybe Felix will turn up, but
In fairness to Cameron, it wouldn't be hard to be the best Ferrari team.
then it will get to a point where Felix will probably take a picture of this and censor George's photo. That's just Felix for you.
I could just imagine it now, right? Felix gets in charge of the IF Leagues chat, and he just crosses the name out of the Constructors' Championship.
Do you ever wonder why he
in
censors
fifth.
he censors
In
George's
ninth.
name in his photos?
It's like this, right? In fifth place, we have White Stripe.
Right.
It probably will.
It just says motorsports.
Yeah, White Stripe Motorsports.
Okay, so we've kind of briefly touched on the predictions for Australia, but next question coming from the same guy. Who is it? Who, in your opinion, will be the ones challenging the Etiads this season?
Me.
No one.
Fucking nobody, man. Have you seen pre-season?
Orange. Oh wait.
It feels like it's fucking 2014 all over again.
Guys, calm down. I mean, it's not like I've got an oil money on my side. Oh.
After the Leclerc incident last season, we fly Emirates now.
Wait.
Gotta fund the ride.
James can't fly. He's not allowed.
Yeah.
It's too big for the
His
seats.
cholesterol levels are too much.
I think
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah,
gue-
get a
think
boat
it's
to
okay.
Australia.
I'm guessing people will blot out this answer, but who will retire and have engine problems?
That's
Me.
Yes,
Me.
Midlands Racing for me.
Me.
It'll just be James, won't it?
More
Probably-
orange when they never use their reliability tokens.
Every Ferrari engine will have at least one breakdown over the weekend. They always do. They're shit.
Ne-
James is probably both of James's car will end up in a wall.
No, my tyre will fall off.
Next
I'm
question.
loose, or-
Next question from the full population of China. What is your name, man? Question
1.2 billion.
to all teams that have alcohol sponsors. In this case, it'll be Oliver because Will and Jake aren't here.
What,
do you-
me? Not
Um,
me or Bud Light
wait a
Lime, no?
Sean's team are called Bud Light Lime,
Yeah, but
and
they don't-
Cameron's team are called Martini.
Yeah, I know that. I know that Cameron will have to censor a colour
No,
for when we get to
we're
Abu
not.
Dhabi. But do you have Bud Light on your car?
Is it not written in big writing on the engine cover?
It is.
We're not doing anything. We're just going to put up with it and go to prison.
Yeah, fuck it, here's a good idea. I'm just not going to go to Abu Dhabi so that I can have it on the car. Sponsors got to pay dough, man.
What do you think of the laws banning alcohol sponsors?
Fucking Abu Dhabi, it's like everything else.
My Abu Dhabi overlords will take away my money if I say bad things.
Yeah.
So they are
I'm
good.
banned. I'm banned from Abu Dhabi anyway, so I'm fair enough to say that it's a religious autocracy with shit laws.
How dare
What do
they?
you want there?
How dare they? My
Again, that's-
Arabian
They not
brethren.
they not supplied you any Etihad oil, so
Nah,
He has to use Tesco
Tankers.
value.
oh dear,
had
Oh,
to use the
dear.
pump at Sainsbury's.
oh dear. I think that's what our internet runs on.
Co-op.
But yeah, your BBC internet is shocking.
Yeah, no question. I'm not even sitting here denying it. Anyway,
Yeah, ask- what am
I
I-
am not asking that question, James. You can
There's
think.
loads of questions I've asked you.
Yeah, and they're all irrelevant. Like, for example, favourite STD, favourite Bruce Willis film. Oh, Martini.
Hang on.
Oh,
We need to have, like, a
Martini.
no, listen for a minute, Joe. We need to have like a Reddit AMA style press conference once. Lighten it up a little bit.
Well, I have a Reddit account set up.
I have a Reddit account. Right? Hang on a minute, right? What's everyone's favourite Bruce Willis film?
I don't know.
Who's Bruce Willis?
Apparently, according to James, he's
The,
asking
the
what.
episode, the episode of Friends that you come in.
I'm gonna say Armageddon.
I will ask that question, Tiger Court 22. Does James think of shit questions?
Oh Christ! Yes. Oh, that
Yes.
is 100% true. He
James is
also
like
makes
the
really
Jack
bad
Hall of
jokes that only
questions.
he laughs at.
Yeah, like for example, our Nottingham Forest Magic will Marquise relegate 2 teams in one season? Are Martini
You can
corrupt?
You can tell that James doesn't get out much.
Yeah. And we're not including him going to Matt's house last week in that regard.
Oh,
so-
did he actually leave the house once? Bloody
Yeah.
hell, he must. I'm surprised he didn't like get a massive sunburn. It's me eyes.
It was snowing last week.
That's probably why he left before Matt did SRL.
Sorry, not what it was.
So anyway, they're all the questions done with then. So one final question. It's everybody's favourite one here, as we established.
There's another question, Joe.
No, there isn't.
No, there is. There actually is. I'm not making this fucking.
Out
shit
first
up.
there, James.
Yeah, that actually
Oh,
is.
okay then. Okay then. This question and then the final question. Question to EMR. What do you think of the other Mercedes teams?
The shit.
Their cars finish and yours don't. You're gonna look like a right twat.
I know.
Yeah, considering one of them is nicknamed the Etihad B team as well. I'm guessing Ollie's hoping Shadow beats you. That's just.
Oh, I'm giving him all the oil money.
What makes it odd is that James actually sold one of his old drivers to Shadow, Carlos Sainz.
And now he's under my control.
The Etihad Empire.
Yeah.
The Empire grows strong. When is James being taken to the
drivers will be
Senate?
mine.
Apparently, according to this is the only serious question he's actually come up with. Who is
Yeah,
going to come last in the championship?
James,
Monster.
his car doesn't finish each week.
Somebody
No, I
said.
didn't.
Did the majority just say monster? Or...
It is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be Monster.
They've
Who,
got crack drivers.
who even drives for Monster?
Hartley
Oh,
and Rowland.
And Brendan Hartley.
That's a terrible lineup for this championship.
It is a very terrible lineup, and considering there's free agents like Jensen, Buta.
Will they be lapped?
Oh,
I'm going to say they're going to struggle to make 107%.
If only that law existed. Final question then. What is everybody expecting out of the weekend? Starting off with Oliver.
I'd like to get off to the championship in the best way possible.
In the barrier.
Yep, you probably will be. If we lead the championship out of Australia, it'll be a positive. A race win would be better. As well, reliability as well. We haven't had any reliability issues. We very rarely do have reliability issues now based on last season. We'll be bringing.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You might explode now.
We'll be making.
Well, no,
minor
do say
changes.
that. That's what we want.
But I'm expecting to get things up and running pretty early on, and just to get the season going. Hopefully, as always, Joe, the forbidden, long lost 1-2. It will never happen. It just won't. Scripted and all that. But, we can do it.
Sean.
Well, considering tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, we're gonna have a good few cans of Bud Light Lime with the lads. And then we're going to watch the race hungover in the morning.
Yeah.
Sean, you're what are you, 16?
They're finally... Is it?
I'm
17.
17.
And
Only hangover you get is if you have too many McDonald's milkshakes.
And now
I'm having a
YouTube is
shamrock shake
possibly
tomorrow,
going
in
to
fairness.
say this is not advertiser friendly.
Yeah, that 33-cent you'd have earned, Joe. That'll go a long way.
Yes, because James asking what everyone's favourite STI isn't going to do it.
STD.
Same thing.
It is the same thing, but, got to read things accurately. Robert?
Well, it won't be easy, but we think we can get one of our drivers into the top 5.
James?
Well, what I want to happen is a 1-2, Etihad in the barriers. But what's actually going to happen is I'm going to be in the barriers and they're going to get a 1-2.
We're team principals of the pinnacle of motorsport. We're very optimistic about our team's chances.
Really are, aren't you?
And you wonder why this press conference is popular. Yuri?
Can't imagine this will be a long answer.
Point.
I was right.
Can't ask George because he's not here. Cameron?
George would probably say something really long-winded.
What was that, Cameron?
So you already asked me.
No. Cameron, if anyone's wondering, the reason why Cameron's not interested is he's probably playing Fortnite.
I'm playing FIFA.
You're playing FIFA, huh?
Oh.
He's addicted.
At least if you had played Fortnite, you had an excuse.
And finally, Andy.
Firstly, to persuade you to not use the dabbing photo again in stream.
I promise. I'll promise that. I'll try and grab your Twitter
What
profile
photo?
that you've got now.
What photo is this?
It's
Look
old
on the
dabbing
screen.
photo.
Also, can you give me something non-anime?
Oh!
And my actual target is to be the top-powered Porsche team. Stiff competition there.
Realistic.
I like
It's a realistic
Porsche
target.
team.
And with that is the end of the first press conference of the season. Thank you to James, Andy, Oliver, Yuri, George, Cameron, Sean, and Robert. And that is the end of this press conference. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you guys tomorrow at 1 PM GMT for the first qualifying session of Season 4. But until then, take care.